What's up? What's up, bitches? Got the fat bitch at the beach here. That being me. One of the things that I'm supposed to be the anger photographer. It's more like the PTSD photographer. Due to years of abuse, decades of abuse. Excuse me for that one. That I can't stand is bullshit about photography that you'll never learn in photography school. You'll never read in any photographic magazine, which of course are all nothing but advertising transport mechanisms for Sigma and Phony and the rest of these douchebag assholes that are trying to brainwash you into buying their pathetic shit. My idea is that valuable, good gear actually sells itself and doesn't need a tremendous amount of advertising. Anyway, the point being is that stuff that you will never read about in any of these places or on bulletin boards. And one of those important things is lens design. A lens is far more than the sum of its parts. Well, what the hell am I talking about? Well, let's take an analogy of a car. Say you got part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. Let's say you've got an engine, a transmission, a chassis, and ergonomics. Well, those all add up to 4. Well, we stick in X number of parts, we got 4. Well, it's more than the sum of its parts. Just as you know in chemistry, when you mix certain things together, they're more than the summation of their totality taken individually. One of the interesting facts about lens designs, and there are countless programs out there for optical design of lenses, and the reason that some of these old gurus of lens design have been around for decades, and Nikon and Canon won't let these old farts retire, is they have experience that can never be programmed. You have to know the totality. Some of the parts do not equal the whole that eventually outcomes. Like, say for a car, for example, well, a steel motor is going to be different than an alloy motor. A slightly different chassis is going to be different than another chassis. It's material. The sum total of it will drastically change the outcome. It is the case with lenses that ED glass drastically affects the nature of the rendered light, especially in depth rendition and the binocular disparity of the light, the aperture, which of course collimates the light into the thickest portion of the lens and changes the nature of the light that eventually falls in the sensor. It is the case that aspherical elements, and specifically, as I said, ED doped glass, whether it's doped with lanthanum oxide or niobium oxide, there are about 9 different compounds and various compositional additions that are added to the glass will actually change the nature of the glass and ultimately the rendered image. So you cannot say that, well, this particular lens, the sum total of its number of elements, whether it be aspherical or ED glass, will equal what you can expect out of it. There are a number of software applications that exist, obviously, for both Nikon and Canon. They can say, well, with the refractive index of ABC, XYZ, you will end up with this. You need to add an achromatic doublet, and you need an aspherical element here. But none of this can tell you. You can't go to B&H Photo and click on the ads, the specific specs of a lens, and determine what its properties are. Obviously, the less glass, the better, because glass is evil. It ultimately causes flatter image rendition, just like that really fast lens I got done showing you a few videos ago, the Tamron 70-200. It's got 23 elements in it. It's a damn fast lens with vibration control, but it has issues with really, really flat rendition. But it's a sports slash action lens. That's why it doesn't excel in color saturation or depth rendition like the Nikkor 80-200. The sum totality of what makes up a lens is that you'll never read about in any magazine is not, well, I could say it has ABC, XYZ, it has a T-stop of this, it has an F-stop of that, it has a focal length of this, it has an IQ sharpness of that, it has a vignetting of this. All of these properties of lenses, coma, vignetting, chromatic aberration, distortion, all these attributes that you read about, I mean, those are all fine. Most people only care about, typically they care about 2 things. They care about IQ and chromatic aberration, or they care about IQ and vignetting. However, I crop most of my shots anyway, so that doesn't really make a shit of difference to me. I mean, actually the best rendered images come out of low element primes that have significant vignetting. But these create the most beautiful color saturation and depth that you've ever seen. But you have to understand, like I said before, the sum total of the parts that make up the lens is absolutely identical to a human being or a car or anything else. I mean, you can... Let's let the people pass here. All of a sudden, every asshole in Fort Myers Beach wants to be by me while I'm making this video. You know, you could dig up dead body parts like Frankenstein and sew them back together, but you don't have a human being. Well, you have the sum total of a human being. Well, it's not alive. It's a lifeless fucking corpse. And it's the same as true with these lenses that are actually built by neophyte lens designers. Nikor's, the latest 35mm f1.8, is extremely sharp lens. Well, I say extremely sharp. It is very sharp, but it was designed by a neophyte. And the lens has absolutely horrible vignetting and is total shit. Yeah?
What you got going
Oh,
on?
I was making a video here.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, up Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
Uh-huh. I was just interested in...
Okay. No, it's alright. I was done. But that was very funny. The license plate says they're from Ohio. That sounds about right. That is about exactly what I would expect. See, people in Kentucky, and I have my other home is in Kentucky, we don't like people from Ohio. It's like, I'm making a video, why are you fucking bothering me? You're standing there staring at me like 5 feet away. Whatever. See, shit like that amuses me. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, I was back on the topic of the sum. Yeah, I was talking about sewing body parts together and not equaling a live human being. Well, you see, now I was talking about something being a piece of crap in the other video. It's a Ford. It sounds like there's two cats fighting inside underneath the hood. I wish the Americans made good stuff, but they don't make good stuff. A few people actually still make good stuff in America, but not much anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.